All right, and now we have someone equally amazing that is coming up to join us. I would like to introduce Samantha Paxson, who is the Chief Experience Officer at Co-op Financial Services, and she is also an architect to go-to-market strategy and brand experience and a founder of Think. Thank you so much for being here to talk about how we can do it. Take it away.
We can do it. We can. I'm so inspired by that last panel, I can't even tell you. This is exactly everything that we've been talking about today is so important to where we go from here. And though Sue always says, no slides, there are never slides at the underground, I'm coloring outside the lines too, Chuck, because I'm bringing some slides. And some of this, the reason I am is that Co-op just did some research that's hot off the presses. I'm going to have to look at it a little bit because it's the first time I'm actually presenting it, but I think it's super important considering what we're talking about today. We can do it because what we're seeing in the marketplace is that others are doing it, and we need to continue to capture market share. If we don't do things differently, there are not going to be credit unions that are going to be around. Our market is shrinking, and it doesn't have to be shrinking. So when I was here 2 years ago, we talked about my trip here. And we talked about how credit unions serve members in their lifestyle, their life stages. So we give loans, we do auto loans, we give mortgages, we do home equity lines of credit. But what we don't necessarily do is really think about how our members live day to day. So I talked about how I interact with my credit union. And I actually talked about also where I'm seeing my friends and what they're doing in their financial lives. And they are living day to day through payments. They move money. They are focused on their daily lifestyle engagement and interaction. And the companies that are winning here are financial technology providers. So I'm going to show you some research in just a moment, and I might walk near Lily to see some of this, but I wanted to bring your attention to a speaker that we had at Think. His name's Scott Belsky, and he talked about don't let the urgent get in the way of the important. So I serve on the board of a credit union. When we meet every month, we walk through the financials and we talk about loans. And that's probably 90% of the conversation that we talk about. Does this sound familiar to all of you? So what we don't talk about is kind of the balance of our economic index, of our income statement. We don't talk about, well, what about the non-interest income in addition to the interest income? And what does that mean in terms of serving our members? So not only are we leaving income on the table, we are leaving service on the table. And when I hear my fellow speakers and the panelists talk today about helping our members in their financial lives, the average credit union member has 5 different financial relationships. And so when we think about how are we engaging and interacting with those members, where does that happen? How did Maurice know what his member shopped, where that member shopped, and what they had in their shopping cart? They know it from debit and credit card transactions. And how many of you actively manage your debit and credit card transactions in order to help your members in their financial lives? How are we actively embedding the way that we help guide our members so that they can be at their best, living their best life, and getting ahead financially if we don't understand how they are managing their financial life, if we're not seeing their daily lifestyle transactions? So it's super critical that we're not just focused when we look at our lag measures, we look at the balance sheet, that we're not just looking at the income statement that shows our primary line of business, which is lending. We need a more balanced approach. So I'm going to go walk over here a little bit. So we did some research. Where the battle is being waged today is in the member journey. The financial technology providers are setting the service model for financial services. And what we saw during the pandemic, we can do this. We pivoted very quickly to shift in how we deliver member service, but it's here. Members expect they have a change in need, a change in expectation, and a change in interaction. The way that you are going to win today is in the ways that you engage with your members. And so we just did some research with EY. We did it in 2020, and we did it last year. And there's a giant difference in this statistic. We surveyed 3,000 consumers, 2,000 members, and 1,000 prospects. Among your existing members, PayPal is the most trusted financial relationship in their financial life. PayPal. And the way PayPal is winning, there are 18 things, and I'm going to roll up these 18 things. But the first set of things that they're doing is they're helping members understand their financial lives. Help me have an aggregated picture of what's going on in my day-to-day financial life. And then the next 10 things, which is helping them win share, is now help me to take action on those things. How can I then do the next action, the specific things that Maurice was talking about? What should I be doing differently so that you're seeing in my data how I am performing financially? What should I be doing? How do I have a view of that? And then what next action can I take? Financial technology providers like PayPal are doing a really good job at this. And I'm going to show you in a moment how they have grown. But first, this is what this looks like for our growth as an industry. If we are able to help members have a clear picture of their financial life and then be able to take action on that, this is the growth that you'll expect to see. Among your members, because they have, on average, 5 relationships, you could grow almost 2x among your existing members. And among prospects, you could grow even 2.3 times. So it's an incredible opportunity for what this means. And I'll tell you financially, this comes up in a moment, but I'm not sure if I'm going to get to this slide. Financially, what we just saw in our most recent research is that within the next 3 years, we could grow 4.9 million members in 3 years' time if we were just to put focus on the day-to-day lifestyle of our members. And I'll tell you, payments, I know I work for a payments company. I know this. Payments is the place where we can make that happen. It is the place where members are needing to move money. They're needing to pay for things. Maria just talked about your members need a credit card. Everybody needs access to credit. People need access to debit. This is where people are engaging digitally. How are we managing this in our credit unions? Do you have a payments leader on your executive team? Or is that buried down in the org chart? Where does that, how are you looking at those metrics? How are you making it an important part of the way that you manage your business? Are we just looking at things through a product lens? Are we looking at things through the holistic member journey? How are we driving that engagement with our members? Because what I want to show you is, and we did research with Feline about what you're thinking about and what your members are thinking about. And there is a very definite disconnect. What you all are thinking about are earnings, expense, and experience. And you're all saying the way to get there is loans. Yes, people need loans. People need access to money. And I'm not trying to be controversial, but I get a loan probably once every 5 years. Members need you every day. How are we showing up for our members every day? When they're going to the grocery store, when they're ordering an Uber, when they're buying things on Amazon Prime, how is your payment at the top of the list so that you have access to the ways that they are engaging in their financial life and that you can give them the advice that they need? You will have the data to deeply understand member needs. You'll then be able to embed that in guiding them through their daily financial life. And then you'll be able to see their personal financial performance improve. And that's where I believe our mission is going. That's where I believe we can really be at the forefront of our members' lives and also be in the consideration set. I'm a marketer by trade. And as a marketer, we need to be part of the consideration set. And if we're not present, how can we be part of the consideration set? So in the past year, this is the difference between what I showed you in 2020 and 2021. FinTech providers grew 505% from 2020 to 2021. Credit unions lost 3% market share. And something that I know, I've said this before, Frank has reported on it for 3 years in a row. I think this is the next one. Credit unions or members' view of our service has gone down for 3 years in a row. How do we turn that around? It's partially because they don't believe that we have the technology prowess, that we can deliver digitally, that we have the products and services that they expect. So they are empowered to use their phone to have Venmo be their primary financial provider, have their paycheck direct deposited there, they're issued a debit card. All of a sudden, you're disintermediated. You don't have to be. I sound very Debbie Downer, I don't mean to. My message here is that we can do this. We just have to put our focus here. We have to put our attention on payments. We have to put our attention on digital. And when we do this, this is a growth strategy for credit unions. Because it's not just that we're growing products. It's not just that we're growing income. It's that we are growing service. It's that we are growing mission. It's that we are growing share. We can make a much bigger impact when we think about the daily experience of how our members live. We will deeply understand our members. We'll be able to offer them new products and solutions that will help them based on their personal financial journey. And we'll be able to be the most essential provider in the financial services space for many, many years to come. I know we can do it. We process 8 billion transactions at Co-op. We see you guys doing it. We appreciate you being the financial provider for your members. And I think we can grow. And I think payments are the place to do that. Digital engagement is the place to do that. And financial wellness is the place to do it. And that is built into our hearts and our trust as a financial services provider. This is built into our DNA as credit unions. We need to expand on it. So my purpose today is to encourage you to think about your holistic business, to think about your members' holistic financial life, to think about not just being the best deal in town, but really be the provider to serve credit unions and all their needs, or members and all their needs. And I just can't wait to see what you guys do from here. So thank you.